This video is in regards to our new dispatching view available in Chem-Man. This tool is very valuable for quickly dispatching fields either partially from a job or a location selected across multiple jobs for quick delivery to your applicator. Once you have jobs scheduled in Chem-Man for application, you can then access the new dispatching system through the drop-down menu or the button on Manage Job Scheduling. This dispatching system works for jobs created in your solo store as well as jobs created across multiple internal retailers. The dispatching page opens by default to the View List screen. This screen provides a list of all of your current scheduled jobs. You'll notice that each job has an hourglass, some of them filled with different colors. These hourglasses represent the proposed expiration date of the jobs, and we'll go into more detail with those later in the video. You might also notice that most of these jobs have an L by the job number, and one of them has a D. These letters stand for liquid and dry jobs. Clicking on View Map will show you the fields of these scheduled jobs. You'll notice that the icons for each field are color-coded in the same way that the hourglasses were on the View List page. This color coding system gives you an added glance of when the jobs expire. Blue represents jobs with no expiration date. Green represents jobs that expire within the week. Yellow represents jobs that expire within the next 2 days, and orange represents jobs that expire on the same day you are viewing the screen. Red are jobs that have already passed their assigned expiration date. You can limit the shown jobs both on View Map and View List by the mixture the jobs have. In the bottom left, you'll see the word Options. Directly under this word, you'll find a drop-down named Filter Jobs by Recipe. Using this drop-down, you can limit what jobs are shown in your list and on your map based on a single or multiple recipes. A message will show on the batched job if your selected recipes do not match in chemical rates. Now that we have our jobs limited to a recipe, let's go over some of the things we can see here on the view map screen. First, we'll go through the toggleable layers you can add or hide to the map. The first button, shaped like a chemistry flask, is the Show Applied Logs toggle. If you have jobs that have already been partially completed and the partial spray data has already been matched to the job, you can use this button to show or hide the spray lines on the map. This can act as a refresher to recall which portions of which fields have been sprayed already. The second button that looks like a green circle is the Show Obstructions toggle. With this button, you can show or hide any obstructions you have created in Chem-Man. You can create new obstructions at Setup, Manage Obstructions. The third button, which looks like a warning symbol, is the Show Safety Concerns toggle. This will show or hide any overlays we have pulled from third-party databases that might reflect things like high power lines, as seen by these thick orange lines on the map. The fourth button, which looks like a blue letter D, is the Show Driftwatch toggle. If Driftwatch is available in your area, this toggle will pull in their overlay, showing on the map areas that are sensitive to chemicals. These areas can include sensitive crops or beehives. If you do not have Driftwatch available in your area, there is a way to create sensitive fields in Chem-Man that can show as nearby locations to serve the same purpose. If you are interested in learning how, please give us a call at the support number provided at the end of this video. The last button is a new feature that allows you to measure distances on the map. This will provide you the distance between fields, which can help you determine what fields to batch together and dispatch to your applicator. To use this tool, simply click on the button that looks like an L-shaped ruler. Then you can select your first point on the map, then select a second point on the map. After selecting your second point, a line will be drawn between the 2 points, and you'll notice at the top of the map a small window will appear listing the distance in both miles and kilometers. If you need to measure a new distance, you can click the ruler button again. The first click will remove the original measurement, and the second click will allow you to start a new measurement. Now that we've gone over these details, we are finally ready to dispatch some fields to our applicator. To start this process, we will first click Dispatch Jobs on the left side of your screen. You'll notice the menu on the left will change. The new dispatch mode will show 3 steps with step 1 currently selected. This can be indicated by the blue dot beside it. During step 1, you will select which fields you wish to dispatch to your applicator by clicking the field or the location markers on the map. You can also use the Select Group button to draw a square around multiple fields and select them all at once. As you select locations, you'll notice the fields will gain black diagonal lines indicating that they have been selected for the current batch of fields you wish to dispatch. You'll notice on this map that a few locations currently show lighter gray diagonal lines through them. These are locations that have already been selected for other existing batches. As you select fields, you'll notice the field name and customer name show up at the top of the map for the last selected location. You'll also notice just below that info a total acres number that will update with each selection. On the left-hand side within that blue circle on the first step, you will see how many locations have currently been selected. Here you see that we have selected 18 locations. Once you have selected all the fields you wish to dispatch to your applicator, you can now click the second step, Assign Selections, on the left-hand menu. This new pop-up window will show you the recipe for the selected locations as well as the total selected acres. Under Dispatch Options, you can fill out additional information. Optional Batch Label allows you to rename the batch to include any keywords your applicators might need to help them perform the application. This is not required. Rate per acre is taken from the recipe, but can be adjusted here if needed. Chemical type will also be taken from the recipe. This will be based off whether the job or jobs are liquid or dry. We recommend not changing this selection since it affects how your loads are generated. Select Applicator to assign this batch of fields to a specific applicator. You can select a vehicle from the vehicle dropdown. This will auto-populate a vehicle if a default vehicle is set on the applicator that was chosen. You can set the default vehicle under Applicators, Manage Applicators. The vehicle capacity can be entered here. This might auto-populate if your selected vehicle has a liquid and/or dry capacity set as a default. You can set that default under Vehicles, Manage Vehicles. Once you have filled out the required information, you can click on the Save Dispatch Assignment button, which will create the batch for your applicator. After saving the dispatch assignment, you'll notice the fields you've just dispatched will change their diagonal lines to a light gray. At this point, you can continue dispatching additional assignments to applicators if needed by following the same steps as before. Once finished, click on Step 3, Finish Dispatching. This will direct us back to the View Map screen. To view the batch or batches we just created, you can click on View Dispatched List on the left-hand side. This will show a list of batches you've created that haven't yet had applied info assigned for the total acres of the batch or the individual jobs. Clicking on the batch to job will expand a window under the job giving you more information, including the recipe, the acre information, the job numbers included in this batch, and the user who created the batch. You will also see some buttons on this expanded window. We'll first cover the last 3 buttons shown. The Edit Dispatch options allows you to make any last-minute changes or corrections to the applicator and vehicle information for this batch. The Edit Locations button will pull up the map view again, limiting the shown fields to the job numbers included in this batch. Here, you can select or deselect any of the fields. Once done, you can save and finish editing on the left-hand side. The next button we are interested in is the Applicator Report button. This button will give you an applicator report for the combined fields, allowing you to print off the report to hand off to your assigned applicator. If you are taking advantage of the digital transfer GPS sync system that we offer, you can also scroll to just below the map and click the button to send the batched fields to your applicator's GPS wirelessly. Once your applicator has finished or partially sprayed the fields, you can add their applied info in 2 ways. You can go to the individual job the field originally belongs to and enter it there, or you can enter it through the batch job itself. To enter it through the batch job, you can click on the Batch Applied Info button. The pop-up window will show an Add Applied Info block similar to how they look on our individual jobs. This block will default with all fields selected, assuming in most cases you have finished spraying the field. Here you will enter in the information provided by your applicator. With the date and time, you can use our Get Weather button to poll nearby weather stations for the weather data at that time. If this information is different from what was provided to you by your applicator, you can edit them for accuracy. If your applicator had to split the application across multiple days, you can put it in partial sprays by checking the boxes to deselect fields not covered by the first instance of application. You can also edit acres if part of a field was sprayed. If you have the information for the second application of the job, you can click on this Add Applied Info button to create an additional applied info block. If you save the job with a partial applied info block, you'll notice on the View Dispatch list, the batch will show the acres remaining that still need applied. The More Search Options button in the bottom left gives you additional filter options to limit what jobs you see on both the list and the map. You can choose to only show specific jobs, jobs from specific customers, jobs currently assigned to a specific applicator, jobs within a certain county, jobs including a chemical in their mixture, the crop assigned to a job, and or the current jobs of a specific status. Here you'll also see a key map for the expiration timelines for the different colors of hourglasses and location markers that we discussed before. Once you've finished entering all of the applied info, you can now transfer these jobs from scheduling to invoicing. To return to your Manage Scheduled Jobs page, you can click on the Switch View in the bottom left-hand corner. You'll notice that all of the jobs that were included in that batch now show a remaining acres total of 0. Once all the jobs within the dispatched assignment are transferred to invoicing, the created batch will mark itself as complete and hide itself from your remaining active batch jobs. If you ever need to review completed batched assignments, you can do so on the View Dispatch list by clicking the Show Completed Batches checkbox and then refreshing the list. If you have any questions or would appreciate training in regards to our new dispatching system, please reach out to our support team at 870 238 9222. Thank you.